Okay, welcome back, Nick Lenz, Comic Corner Classics / Non-Classics. This is episode number 1154 and Doubleshot number 1048. I got two trades reviewing digitally again. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing this for quite a while now until I run out of them. Okay, first up is an Avengers trade. It's it's basically New Avengers Volume 4, A Perfect World. Written by Jonathan Hickman, artwork by a couple different artists on here. The first three issues, now this book collects issues 18 to 23. 18 to 21 is done by Varito Shetty, and Kev Walker does issues 22 to 23. Yep, and this is pretty much the last regular trade of the New Avengers series before the Time Runs Out trades came out. Yeah, this is the last one before I did that cross between both Avengers and New Avengers, which led into Secret Wars. Yeah, this is the last one. Simply put, this one is basically a continuation of the storyline that was established in the previous arc, with basically the whole thing with the Grey Society. The Marvel's pastiche of another pastiche of the Justice League. Yeah, if you look at them, Sun God is simply put Superman. Their Dr. Spectrum is simply put, well, Green Lantern. Let's see. Yeah, the writer is probably Batman. Boundless is the Flash. Javelin is Martian Man. And the Norn, he is Dr. Fate. Yep, Dr. Fate. And the Illuminati go to the world, yes. Despite the fact that they do fight on the cover, they don't really, it's not this epic in the book itself. It's mostly about them visiting there, and they do get into a fight, and of course, there's secretly bomb plans on the world because, well, that's what Namor wants to do. So, simply put, yeah, he, now apparently instead of basically destroying the Earth like they normally have been doing, they just want to happen. They wanted this all to stop. All of them do. And they all basically say their goodbyes. Ree goes to see Sue. Black Panther goes to have sex with Storm. Because of course he does. Also, if you read the book, you're probably like, wait, why in the world does Storm have a mohawk? Well, that's something that happened at the end of the AVX. Yep. There's also something on with the Black Panther. I appreciate how Hickman writes him. He's a very competent character. And he actually talks to the previous Black Panthers about the incursions or whatever. Yeah. It's an interesting thing. Doctor Strange does appear in the book, but he doesn't do very much at all. Yeah, he's one character that doesn't do much of anything. We also have a brief scene with the sexy Black Swan. Yep, Black Swan. A character who in the last arc was actually part of the group. In this book, she's like, nah, I'm going to basically sit in my cube. Yep, and she does this the whole entire trade. She just sits her cube and does nothing. Yep. Also, I had to reiterate about Reed Richards' costume. Like, if you were reading the Fantastic Four at this period of time when this comic came out, you were thinking, why the heck is Reed Richards wearing red? That was something James Robinson did. You gotta blame him for that. He was the one who had the Fantastic Four briefly put on red for about 12 issues of his run, and then toward the end of the book, prior to Triple Digit numbering, he decided to have him go back to the classic blue, though it's basically the classic blue with the logo of the Fantastic Four reboot movie that came out the same year. Yep. And Iron Man, well, he is wearing the armor that he was sporting in his own solo book that Karen Gillan was doing at the time. Now, you're probably thinking, now, the book also has the Hulk. He's also got metal pants. That was something he picked up in Pages of Avengers. Yeah, and this is before, I would say well before he got shot in his own solo book, because he's perfectly fine here. Doctor Strange, surprisingly, didn't have an ongoing series at this point. Yeah, you're probably thinking, wait, okay, you have Reed, who's part of Fantastic Four. That's ongoing. Beast is here. Yeah, and Beast is his normal Beast. And, yeah. Yeah, and the world itself that they're on does eventually get destroyed, though there's actually one survivor of this world. They do talk about basically how the incursions happened, and in fact they've seen it too many times. And then we see Maximus the Mad basically forming a plan with Black Swan, and he uses a basically kind of like a laser to free Thanos and Proxima Midnight from their prison, their amber prison. And also it restores Crystal's glove, Proxima Midnight's husband. Yep. Yeah, brings him back, and of course they get freed. Yep. Though, here's the strange thing. Despite the fact he came back, they don't really show on panel how the heck that Thanos was freed. It's mostly put just building up to... Also, I should point out though, Stark is wearing a shirt that says Reliant on it. Well, that was actually the name of his company. Yes. His company was actually called that at one point. Yeah, they changed it to basically Stark International again when Tom Taylor took over the book, and then it kind of stuck for a while. Even after when Bendis took over the book, the whole Stark International thing, they changed the name again when Dan Slott took over the book, where it was named to Stark Unlimited. Yeah, that's basically his company. And yeah, it's greatly told. Of course, they have a brief fight between the Illuminati and the Grey Society. And there's stuff with Doctor Strange who has nothing to do with it. And the whole point of him, this issue, with him basically just selling his soul to get this helmet to get being a part of this group. Yeah, that's set up for Time Runs Out and of course Secret Wars. Yep. And of course you had the fight between the Illuminati and the Grey Society, and they look like they're about to win. And then of course, come on, I think this is really stupid. Yeah. So yeah, Doctor Strange acts really strange, and then the bomb happens. Yep. Ever goes off basically instead of like blowing up the planet. Nope. Let's just basically allow it to happen. Yep. Let's just not detonate the bomb. Namor takes the bomb and detonates a panel. Yep, he detonates it, destroying the planet. Yep, he does. He destroys it. Black Panther punches him for and kicks him out of the Illuminati, which makes him the second person to officially lead Illuminati during this run. First, of course, being Captain America. After Namor leaves, after having a fight with Illuminati, every single member, yeah, he leaves. And then he just drops the detonator behind. And then apparently there's another incursion happening in 7 hours. That's when the whole thing of like, okay, let's just basically say our goodbyes because we're getting tired of this crap of destroying worlds. And yeah, it's clearly shown in this issue here before the end that apparently, definitely, that Black Panther went to Jean Grey School for Higher Learning. If you're curious still about this, like how the heck this happened, this is all Jason Aaron's doing. Yeah, he was the one who established this school after the events of Schism, and this school existed for a long period of time. Yeah, this existed from 2011 to, let's see, I think they officially stopped calling it this with 2017. Yeah, this went on for 6 years. Yeah, 6 years of calling it this, where he visits Storm, has sex with her. You know, as I say, he has sex with her because she's clearly naked in bed. Yep. Also, fun, strange little factoid about Storm and Black Panther. Basically, Black Panther was the first person Storm had sex with. I'm not kidding about that. Though they did at a very young age. I'm not going to say what age it was, but they did it when they were really young. So yes, basically, yeah, Black Panther's responsible for this. And of course, we also have a wonderful scene of the Richards going to visit Valerie in Latveria with Doctor Doom. Well, here's the thing. Valerie calls him Uncle Victor because he's the one who named her. And here's the thing. Valerie Reed and Sue's daughter, is named after an old flame of Doctor Doom. Yeah, basically about the woman that he once loved when he was younger. Yep, and we also see Black Bolt and the Moon screaming on the blue area of the moon. The only area of the moon that actually people can breathe. Currently in the comics, this place is the home of Cyclops. Yeah, he built his house on the blue area of the moon for some reason. Yep. And then, of course, The incursion happens. Yep. All because that... Hey, what the heck happened? Well, Namor does something really awesome and kind of obvious that he would do this. Okay, he recruits these people become part of his cabal. They're pretty much continuing the mission that the Illuminati did, destroying other worlds. And his members are led by himself, though later taken over by this other person, Thanos. Yes, Thanos, along with an alternate version of Terrax Tamer called Terrax the Eternal, Prox and Midnight, Black Swan, Maximus the Mad, and Kratos' Glove. Yep, this is the Cabal. And they exist in the Time Runs Out book. And here's the thing. In that book, basically, they took over Necropolis as the base of operations, and they're publicly recognized as people who saved the world. Yep, and that's how the book ends. Oh yeah, and also the book ends with them destroying a world. What world is this? Don't know. Yeah, they go to the world, kill a bunch of people, and that's it. Yeah, he says, "Will you help me destroy worlds?" And they're probably like, "Heck yes, they're evil. Who cares?" Thanos basically has no problem doing this at all. They're external, not really. Prox Midnight and Christmas Glove had no problem because they're basically Thanos' lieutenants. Maximus doesn't have really a problem with it. Black Swan were like, hey, why not? Yep. And ends with destruction of the world. This is a very interesting trade. Yep, interesting, to say the least. Yeah, and, well, this continues and time runs out, and in case you're wondering, here's kind of the weird thing about this. Despite the fact the multiverse is restored at the end of Secret Wars, certain things people remember. Like, for instance, Dr. Spectrum survives destruction of a world. Yep, she survives. And forms the Squadron Supreme. With alternate versions of Hyperion, Nighthawk, pretty much alternate versions of the classic Squadron Supreme lineup. And they're also drawn by Thundera during the course of the book. Yep. And first thing they do, go kill Namor. Comes back 1 year later. Yep. And simply what happened to the rest of the group? Well, the Illuminati were basically on the run after it became public knowledge in the Avengers book. Yeah, they were all on the run. And apparently, for some reason, that Hank Pym, Captain Britain, Armitage Cho joined the group. And, well, all events time runs out, leads into Secret Wars. All in all, now, final thoughts on Hickman's run of both Avengers and New Avengers. Both books, in my opinion, are really good. I think Avengers is better of the two because of how interesting and well written it is. New Avengers is probably not as good as Avengers because it focuses on Illuminati. Now, the thing is, like, Hickman was given this book because Bendis started it, so you pretty much make it an Illuminati book. Why not just call it Illuminati? Oh wait, Marvel did have a book called Illuminati, written by, I think it was Joshua Williams. Yeah, Joshua Williams basically wrote the book, and the book got canceled after 7 issues. Yeah, the reason for this? He jumped over to DC with Sam Humphries. Yep, both books basically got canceled after 7 issues. It was a great book, Illuminati, though it got canceled after the events of Standoff. Yeah, and these both books are really good, and surprisingly, a lot of the characters that Hickman introduced both in Avengers and New Avengers are still around. The only ones I can think of are still around who've been appearing in other comic books and series. One, of course, is Smasher. She's still around. She recently appeared in New Mutants. Okay, Hyperion. Well, it seems that Raft Avengers of Secret Wars, he had a brief ongoing series. He appeared in Squadron Supreme. That's it. That's all Hickman did with the character. That's all what happened with him after Secret Wars. Well, what about Starbrand Night Mask? Well, they did have a brief ongoing series. And that's it. And apparently there's new Starbrand coming out, despite the fact we have one. Yeah, okay. What about Black Swan? She appeared in this book, and she was a pretty good character. She, for some reason, decided to join the Black Order for some reason. Yeah, I'm not really sure of why. My guess is because she's bored, and she probably wanted to be with some guy, maybe Thanos, despite the fact he has thing for death itself. Yeah, I like the fact that the writer of Thanos at the time, Jeff Lemire, kept her around. And to this day, she is still part of the group. As a matter of fact, Black Widow actually had miniseries recently, and it's pretty much the classic lineup with the addition of Black Swan, and they're all still around this very day. At one point, all of them were all killed, and then they all came back, surprisingly. I thought that was quite strange. Okay. And now, as for Terrax Eternal, well, at the Secret Wars, he disappeared. As far as I know, I don't think he's ever appeared. I know Terrax the Tamer has still appeared, but Terrax the Eternal, the one who was from an alternate universe, yeah, he completely disappeared. Yeah. No idea what happened to him, he just disappeared. Now, what happened to Cabal and the Secret Wars? They never appeared together ever again, though they did go to the alternate universe. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. But the one thing Hickman had one missed opportunity when it comes to that incursion in the alternate universe. And I thought this would be a really cool scene. And I'm thinking, though, this would be a really cool thing to see nowadays, especially since he's still around. Namor interacting with the Maker. Yeah, the evil Reed Richards from the alternate universe. This would be fantastic if these two ever interacted. It'd be something that, like him, like, hey, I know you from my universe. He's like, same here. And these two would cooperate. Well, maybe have a conversation. Yeah, I thought it was quite strange. So Hickman never had these two interact with each other. I mean, I would think maybe since Namor still got, he still got City now. Atlantis is still around. My suggestion is that, well, maybe Danny Cotis can have Venom basically bring the Maker to Namor and have basically their conversation with each other, because I think these two interact with each other will be so fascinating. But apparently no one wants to write the scene. I would thought Hickman would do it when he went to Ultiverse, but nope. Never did. Yeah. Alright, next up is Batman Volume 11 from Tom King, The Fall and the Fallen. This is the third to last trade that collects Tom King's run. Yeah, the book is currently written by James Gunn IV. Yep. And this collects issues 70 to 74 of Batman Volume 3, along with Batman Secret Files number 2. I gotta point this out though, because the last trade collected only 3 issues. Yeah, collected a few issues and a Secret Files. Secret Files number 2. And yet this one collects number that one collected 3. This one collects number 2. Simply put, this storyline is simply this: 70 is Batman Arkham Asylum, and of course you have various guest appearances by various characters. People like Maxie Zeus, The Question, Professor Pig. Yeah, Maxie Zeus is in this issue. Aside from quoting from Shakespeare, he doesn't do much of anything at all in here. Nope. But you have Batman breaking up Arkham Asylum after he got there in the last trade, and the first person he fights is the Riddler. Yep, the Riddler. And of course gives him a riddle. Why did the director fire the Watchman? And he just picks his head, breaks his nose against his knee, and he says, Night Watch, I had a dream last night. He was sleeping on the job, that's why he fired him. And then he just runs into Calendar Man. And the Calendar Man knocks stuff out. And then he runs into what looks like, I'd say Copperhead. Then he runs into Hush. Yeah, frickin' Hush. He beats up Dr. Faustus. He runs into the Mad Hatter, Victor Zsasz, and frickin' Man-Bat. One-punch panels. And then he runs into Black Spider. Like, okay. Yeah, Black Spider, in case you don't know who this guy is, he's a minor Batman villain from the 70s. And the last time he physically appeared in the comic book was actually in the pages of Suicide Squad, of all things. Yep. And then you have appearance by, I think it's supposed to be Firefly, though it could be Firebug. Who knows? And then he runs into Mr. Freeze with a slightly updated look. Punches him, gives him one punch. And then he sees the ventriloquist without Scarface for some reason. And then he runs into frickin' Scarecrow. And this scene looks exactly like a... It's almost like Tom King basically took inspiration from... I kid you not, I think he took inspiration from the first Batman Arkham, having to fight various villains, go through a gauntlet of villains before he gets out. And then he, last but not least, he fights Salman Grundy, a guy named I'm not familiar with him, but yes. Now, I gotta point this out about Salman Grundy before I continue. Salman Grundy is not a Batman villain. For some reason, some people at DC think he's a Batman villain because occasionally he has appeared in Batman comics. Salman Grundy is an enemy of the Alan Scott Green Lantern. But my guess is the reason why the Tom King keeps having pop up, though this is the first time why it popped up, though he's one of two non-Batman villains appearing in the series, is because the JSA not around, so why not put Batman? For some reason, he beats him up really easily, runs Two-Face, and has a conversation with him. I should also point out, though, that each of the issues are done by two different artists. Yeah, two artists, Mikel Janin and Jorge Forms, which is really good artwork. And after he breaks out, there's an intruder in the Batcave. And then we have the Bat Signal get turned red. Yep, all because of Flashpoint Batman. And we have Batgirl show up with a stupid mask. Yes, then we also have Young Justice briefly appear. Yeah, I'm glad to see Young Justice, but like I reiterate about this costume. I like the costume. It looks great. The mask is terrible. Please, DC, have somebody change the mask. It is awful. It's a very tiny down mask and bat ears in her hair. What's wrong with her wearing a freaking cow? Yeah. And then we have appearance by the Helen Berntinelli Huntress, Tiger. In the background, we have Damian Wayne beating up Professor Pig, Kate Kane Batwoman, Orphan, of course, Batgirl's contact here, The Signal, and Jason Todd. Yeah, the thing with him basically at a desk, yeah, that's a nod to what was going on in this comic book at this point. And then we have what looks like Batman going to some... It's not his manor, but it's Bane at his table with the Flash of Batman there, with two very similar scenes. And then we see that, well, a team work with Batman to free Gotham from Bane's control. Yeah, this is the prelude to that. Where a lot of people to answer the call are Batgirl, Huntress, Robin, Red Robin. I'm not calling him Drake because I think it's stupid. The fact he calls somebody his last name as his code name. Yeah, why the heck would Bendis do that for? It's so dumb. Orphan and The Signal. Interesting team. Yeah. And then we cut to Batman talking to Bane. And Alfred being in control. And of course, ask like, what about the others? Reach out to him. Kate's too far out. Stephanie's not picking up. Jason is Jason. And Dick is Rick. Yeah. Something I do not like about the Nightwing books. That the Nightwing series, like after the events of Batman 55, like in that issue, Dick Grayson got shot in the head. And it was named to Rick Grayson. I think, with a lot of people, think this was an absolute stupid idea on the part of DC Comics to do. But, as far as I can tell, James Tavis going to fix that, thanks to Joker War. Which, I'm so happy with that. Yep. Now, as far as I can tell, Batman has never really interacted with Hunters before. Yeah, which is quite strange. I get the fact he's worked with, well, Tim Drake, Damian, Cassandra Cain, Robert Gordon. That's fine. But the Huntress in this continuity? No, he's never interacted with Helen Berntinelli before. And we got back to the fight with Bane. And then go flying off. Batman fighting Bane. Of course, he keeps saying he's going to break it back. And then we have the Bat family break into a hospital. And then Alfred picking up Batman because he wants to. And then, of course, well, then they bring up Catwoman. Yep, bring up Catwoman. which gets Tim Drake punched in the face, saying you don't know a thing. And so he's broken you. And then we have more fighting between Batman and Bane. And we cut to a flashback from I Am Suicide. Yes, this is a scene from I Am Suicide, where Batman is confronting Bane in Santa Prisca prison. Oh yeah, and various people have pointed this out though. Why the heck is Bane naked? Yeah, Bane is naked in the scene. Despite the fact it looks like he's wearing pants, Bane was butt naked for absolutely no reason at all. And he was wearing his birthday suit in front of his own men. Seriously, Bane, put on some frickin' pants. And we have Batman fighting Bane. And then we have a scene from, I think this is from the storyline from War of Joke and Riddles. We have Catwoman about to hop into bed with Batman, about to share a bed together. And more fighting. And I think this is actually in Wayne Manor, where Batman gets up. And then we have this wonderful image from supposedly from Batman 50, where the wedding was supposed to happen. And of course, Harley and Ivy together. That was really nice. The fact he included that there. Well, it looks like a little Swamp Thing. I'm not really sure why. Though we couldn't have the wedding happen because some idiots DC got cold feet. And I have to reiterate about this. Tom King got death threats over the wedding happening and what happened in Heroes in Crisis. People, I get the fact that people don't like some stuff Tom King does, but don't send him freaking death threats. It's an absolute stupid thing. Yeah, Batman still fights Bane. And then, of course, Batman passing by Kane Plaza. Kane Plaza, named after Bob Kane. Yep, probably Universe is probably named after the Kane family. The family of Martha Wayne. And then we have a repeat of Nightfall, where Bane picks up Batman, and once again, for the first time since Batman 497, he breaks his back. Again. Just cuz. And then we show up Bane's army, where it's comprised of these following people. Victor Zsasz, the Riddler, Mad Hatter, the Joker, Scarecrow, Man-Bat, Bane, Gotham Girl, Psycho Pirate, another character who is not a Batman villain. And yeah, he's here, because Tom King likes the character. I get the fact he's a good villain, but he's not a Batman villain, he's a JSA villain. Two-Face, Ventriloquist and Scarface, and Hugo Strange and Hush. Interesting though. And then the Flash around basically finds him, picks him up, and takes him to the desert for the next couple issues. Yep, basically that's what he does. Takes him to the desert, heals him up so he can have a rematch with Bane, and he trains him. That's what he does for 2 issues. They fight and they talk. It's great character development on the part of Tom King for Batman and, well, his father. Though, the thing is, how the heck this man is even alive is questionable at best. Here's why I say that. Because he is from an alternate timeline of DC Universe. The Flashpoint timeline. A timeline that was erased. Like, somehow he's alive. It's not thoroughly been explained yet. But don't worry, there'll be more stuff. And of course, then we have a nod to, I would say, Demon Rising with Batman shirtless, but it's a desert, it's probably really hot anyways. And yeah. And, well, they go down some pit, and they go down to Lazarus Pit to heal up. Yes, a frickin' Lazarus Pit. Yeah, somehow Flashpoint Batman knew where Lazarus Pit was on a different Earth. And because the Earth's similar, I have no idea. And Batman was like, nah, and of course he punches him. Fight, and of course they have a casket. Does he go in Lazarus Pit? No, not really. Though he's able to get out of it, no problem. And then we have the secret file to focus on the Batman villains. The first one's focused on the Joker, written by Andy Kubert. Yep. And artwork by Amanda Clay and Knopfler, I think is the pronounce the person's name. Yeah, story focused on the Joker. Interesting story. Just him basically tying Batman getting away. Yep. Of course, beating up. Second story is focused on, well, Psycho Pirate. and he's running a cult for some reason. And then it was great artwork of Batman in his current costume. Yes, with the black trunks. Now in the case of Batman, as far as I know, people had no problem with him dissing the trunks. But my only guess is the reason why that DC gave that back to him. And a lot of people probably theorize this because the Detective Comics 1000 is coming up, so why not have him basically back in the trunks? But in the case of Superman, it happened Action Comics 1000. Batman, this happened, I think it was like Detective Comics, they were like 992, I think it was. Yeah. Yep. Now, next story is a focus on the Riddler. Yep, the Riddler. It's Batman versus the Riddler. Interesting story. Now, the second part story, that was done by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing with Carlos Dorita on the artwork. It's a pretty good story. It's called Help Us. Yeah, I don't have a problem with this at all. It's a really good story. The Riddler story is basically Batman solving a bunch of riddles relates to the Riddler and just a really solo. It's written by Margaret Scott, who was the writer of Batgirl with somebody else now, with Gustavo Camuncoli as the artwork. The last story is a Hugo Strange story. Yep, where he ties up various guys thinking that, oh yeah, I'm Batman. Nope, none of them Batman. Because Hugo Strange has got a obsession with Batman. Yeah, it's written by Steve Orlando. Yes. Art by Eduardo Riso. Yeah, I'm not going to show up the bloody artwork, but yeah. This is quite interesting artwork on the part of the artist. Yeah, and that's pretty much it when it comes to this book. Yeah. Oh, wait, there is one other thing. It's a Bane story. I almost forgot about that. The Bane story, written by Tim Seeley. I've never met Tim Seeley. I've never met Tom King either. Artwork by Patrick Gleason. Interesting. And just Bane being Bane, beating up people, fighting Batman. Great artwork by Patrick Gleason. And, yeah, it's a fun story. Probably a great setup for the City of Bane story, which I'm going to review next time I do Digital 1. Mm-hmm. Now, of the two trades, Perfect World, I'm going to give that one a 9 out of 10. Fallen the Fallen, give that one a 9.5 out of 10. Really good. Now, the next time I do a digital review of digital books will be a review of the last two trades of Tom King's run, the City of Bane storyline. Yep, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned if I get time to do my review for One Piece. Okay, see you next video. Bye.